Hello, Seiiti Arata. Some time ago, a very interesting strategy game was launched. The game involved developing your character, collecting some coins, getting through certain phases, and facing increasingly difficult challenges. It is available on all platforms. This game is called Life, and you can choose to play it in easy mode or hard mode. Treating life as a game is not just a figure of speech. By applying video game strategies in your life, you can achieve real results and growth in your character. And as your character develops, you improve your skills, you earn more money, and you unlock better tools. The difference is that in real life, earning all of this takes much longer and requires much more effort than in a video game. That's why you need a good strategy. The game of life is naturally difficult, so you need to use smart tactics to play the right way. That way, the game is easier and more fun. Apply the best part of video games in your own life. Video games are often used as a form of escapism. Many people spend hours playing games to avoid facing real-life obligations. There is nothing wrong with this kind of distraction as long as it doesn't become an addiction that damages other areas of your life. Now imagine that people dedicated all that time and effort to develop as a person instead of developing characters in a game. A good strategy for this is to analyze the best parts of playing video games and try to apply them in real life. There are a few reasons why games are so popular. Firstly, games are clear. They have unchanging goals. You need to get from point A to point B, have to complete a mission, defeat an enemy. Secondly, the goals are divided into smaller stages, each with its own reward. You only face the next enemy once you have passed the first stage, gained enough experience, collected enough coins, or unlocked a certain tool. Thirdly, you can attempt the missions as many times as you want. No matter how many times you fail, you can always start again. Every time you fail and you see that game over on the screen, you become a little stronger. At least you know now what you should not be doing. And with infinite chances, there is no failure, there is only learning. Fourthly, playing video games requires very little physical effort. You just need to sit and push a few buttons while your mind focuses on completing the mission. You usually do this in full concentration. In a challenging game, you're not looking at your phone or chatting or watching videos or surfing around the internet at the same time. And lastly, it takes less time to get better at a game than it takes to get better at something in real life. Even in a very difficult game, you can get better. You can master the mechanics of the game in just a few months. But to become really good at a job in real life, you need years of dedication, and you will probably have to make some sacrifices. Turn your life goals into small stages of a video game. To apply the logic of video games in your life, you need to transform your big dreams into small missions with clear objectives, specific rewards, and achievable goals that do not require too much time. And first of all, you need to define your character traits. You will not be able to choose all your traits. For example, you didn't choose where you were born, your genetics, or other decisive factors. The game of real life is like that. Some people are born in much more privileged conditions than others. But since you can't change the past, you have to focus on what you already have. You need to know your skills, the areas you have experience in, how much money you have collected so far, and what tools you have already unlocked. And once this is clear, you can start setting missions. Remember that these missions cannot be the final goals of the game, like getting rich or getting fit or being happy, becoming famous. These are not good missions. Your missions need to have clear, small objectives with specific rewards, achievable goals that do not require too much time. So instead of saying getting fit, your first mission might be to go to the gym 3 times a week for the next month. And once you pass that phase, you can set a slightly harder mission. If you don't pass that phase, you can try the same mission again, or even try playing an easier game that is more in line with your character's current situation level. Take the game of life seriously. Write down the descriptions of a character and your missions. The best way to turn your life into a video game is to write down your character's characteristics and goals. Start by describing your ideal character. Think about the best version of yourself. What would be your physical strength? What about your charisma? public speaking skills, persuasiveness, where in the map would you live? What type of skills would you like to have? How much experience do you need to gain those skills? How many coins do you need? What tools do you need to unlock? This is your ideal character. Now you also have to describe your current character. What level are you at? What have you done to get to this level? What do you need to do to reach to the next level that will get you closer to your ideal character? Missions will help you to close the gap between your ideal character and your current character in the game of life. Remember, small missions with clear objectives, achievable goals, and immediate rewards. Missions that do not take too long to complete. Even long-term goals, such as acquiring a large fortune or learning a new profession, should be broken down into short-term missions over a few weeks maximum. This way you can reap the rewards, you can maintain clarity of purpose, and you can advance as you overcome each stage. Focus on the process of playing rather than the outcome of the game. When you play a game for fun, you are more focused on the process of playing rather than the end result of the game. You do not pick a game and focus on just finishing the game without enjoying the challenges and the rewards of each part. This should also be the case in real life. In many challenges we face in everyday life, the outcomes are not exactly under our control. You cannot control what your body will actually look like after doing some physical exercise, but what you can control is how often you go to the gym, what you eat, how much you sleep. You cannot control how many people will buy your product or service, but what you can control is the quality of your product or service. Your dedication to developing that, your work to improve sales. So focus on the process, not on the results. Focus on doing the best you can with the things that are under your control. Even if the results don't come your way, you still have the option to play again and improve little by little. Video games are popular because they have clear objectives and because they are divided into smaller stages that increase in difficulty as your character develops. Video games also provide many attempts to win without much physical effort within a short amount of time. You can use this logic in real life and reach your objectives as you develop your skills and you accumulate more experience. To do this, it is essential to have a well-structured life plan, a plan that defines your character, the missions you need to complete, and the steps to take in order to fulfill these missions. That is exactly what we teach in the course, Planning Your Life, which you can discover right now in arata.se/planning your life.